From the very moment you began reading these words, a subtle yet powerful impulse has guided you here. There is something inside you, a quiet, persistent force that drives you to search for answers and to find meaning in every experience you've had. This journey is not coincidental. It is as if your inner self has been whispering that there is more to understand about the way you live and interact with the world. You have always been someone who cares deeply. Your willingness to help, your compassion, and your genuine kindness are the marks of a heart that truly desires to connect. Yet despite your best efforts, you often wonder why these very qualities seem to lead you to unexpected outcomes. Have you ever noticed that your acts of kindness sometimes invite indifference or even disrespect? It may feel confusing and even painful when the warmth you offer does not return the same respect you so readily give. Think about those moments when you extended your hand to help, only to feel that your generosity was taken for granted. It's as if the world is challenging you to understand that there is a hidden dynamic at play, one that transforms the way kindness is received. Rather than simply being a reflection of your goodwill, your kindness can be misinterpreted as a sign of vulnerability, a signal that you have no boundaries. This perception, in turn, can encourage others to overstep without considering your own needs. Have you ever caught yourself wondering if your kind nature might actually be the reason you sometimes feel overlooked or even exploited? Imagine a scenario where every smile, every helping gesture is seen as an open invitation for others to lean on you without any limits. It is not that your heart is weak, it is that your openness shines a light on a truth that many prefer to keep hidden. In the everyday dance of human relationships, your generosity can be both a blessing and a source of unintended consequences. As you reflect on these experiences, you might begin to see that the force pushing you to seek clarity is not only about understanding others, it's also about recognizing yourself. This inner call is urging you to explore the delicate balance between giving and protecting your own emotional space. There is a profound lesson here. Being kind does not mean surrendering your worth or allowing your boundaries to vanish. On the contrary, true kindness is deeply intertwined with self-respect and the courage to say, enough. Consider this. Every time you extend your help without pause, you send a message, not just to others, but also to yourself. That message is one of endless availability. And while such openness can be inspiring, it can also set the stage for a cycle where your kindness is seen as an unlimited resource. When people come to expect your support without ever questioning its cost, they might begin to assume that your energy and care are inexhaustible. This assumption, if left unchecked, can lead to a profound sense of being undervalued. Now pause for a moment and ask yourself, what if this very force within you is trying to tell you something important about your own nature? What if your journey for answers is a call to discover how to balance the desire to help others with the need to honor your own limits? Each act of kindness you offer is like a seed planted in the fertile soil of human connection. However, if you do not nurture yourself as well, those seeds may grow into expectations that drain you over time. The world around us often rewards the bold and the assertive, yet it sometimes overlooks the quiet power of compassion. There is a hidden irony here. While society may praise strength and decisiveness, it is also the gentle, persistent force of kindness that often challenges the status quo. When you choose to be kind, you also choose to be different. You challenge the norm by offering something that cannot be measured by simple exchange, a warmth that transcends everyday transactions. This difference can be unsettling for those who have built their lives on clear rules of give and take. In this moment, as you listen to these words, allow yourself to feel the pull of that unseen force within you. Let it remind you that every question you ask, every search for meaning, is a step toward a greater understanding of who you are and how you relate to the world. There is a beauty in this quest, a beauty that lies in the recognition that your kindness is not a flaw, but a gift, one that comes with the responsibility to also protect and value yourself. As you move forward on this journey, remember that the challenges you face are part of a larger, unfolding story. A story in which every act of kindness, every moment of doubt, and every small victory contributes to the intricate mosaic of your life. Your search for clarity is the beginning of a transformation that will empower you to redefine what it means to be kind. It is an invitation to create a life where generosity and self-care coexist in harmony, each strengthening the other. So, as you continue to read and reflect, embrace the idea that this journey is both personal and universal. Your experiences are part of a shared human narrative, a narrative filled with moments of light and shadow. Stay with these words, let them resonate within you, and trust that the answers you seek are slowly emerging from the depths of your own inner strength. The unseen force that brought you here is also the force that will guide you towards a deeper understanding of the true power of your kindness. Have you ever wondered if your willingness to always help comes at a price? When you are endlessly kind, it can sometimes open the door for others to take more than they should. This part of our journey explores how boundless kindness can be misinterpreted as weakness, and how failing to set clear limits can cause you to be undervalued. Imagine a scenario where every time you lend a hand, people assume that you are always available. It might feel good at first, knowing you can be relied upon, but soon that very reliability may lead others to believe they can approach you anytime without any consequence. This isn't about diminishing your kind nature. It is about understanding that every act of generosity has a value, and if that value is not recognized, it can lead to exploitation. Have you ever experienced a moment when someone repeatedly leaned on your support, ignoring your own needs? This phenomenon is sometimes known as the benevolence exploitation effect. It's as if your openness is seen as a sign that you have no personal boundaries. The more you give without clearly defined limits, the more likely it is that people will start to take you for granted. It's not a reflection of your generosity. It's a sign that the message you send about yourself is that you are always available, no matter the cost. Consider the situation where a friend or colleague always turns to you in times of need. Initially, you may feel honored to be trusted with their problems. However, if there is no clear boundary in place, that trust can quickly become a burden. The absence of boundaries can lead to a cycle where your energy is constantly drained. Over time, this relentless giving may leave you feeling exhausted, unappreciated, and even resentful. The secret here is not to close off your kind nature, but to balance it with self-respect. Setting boundaries is not about rejecting others. It is about protecting your well-being. It is crucial to understand that your kindness is a strength only when it is paired with the ability to say no when necessary. Think of your personal space as a valuable resource. Just as you protect your home, you must protect your emotional space. By learning to define what is acceptable and what is not, you send a clear message to others. Your generosity has limits, and it is not an endless supply. Have you ever felt that each time you say yes, you slowly lose a part of yourself? It is as if your endless availability is a signal that you have no needs or rights. In truth, everyone deserves to be cared for, even those who give care to others. When you neglect your own needs, you risk your well-being and the quality of your relationships. It is essential to remember that taking care of yourself is not selfish. It is a necessary part of sustaining your ability to be kind. There is a hidden cost to always being available. It is the cost of losing your personal power and the risk of becoming invisible in your own life. When people see that you have no boundaries, they may begin to assume that your help is an obligation rather than a gift. This dynamic not only diminishes the value of your kindness, but also erodes your self-worth. The message you send by never setting limits is that your needs do not matter as much as the needs of others, and over time, this imbalance can become deeply damaging. Let's explore another angle: the impact of boundless kindness on how others perceive you. When you are continuously open to offering help, it might seem as though you are giving away parts of yourself without any protection. This can signal to others that you are vulnerable, a trait that unfortunately some might see as an opportunity to benefit from your generosity. The truth is, vulnerability is not a weakness, but when it is paired with an absence of boundaries, it can be mistaken for an invitation to overstep. Your kind nature is a double-edged sword, capable of both healing and being exploited. Reflect on the moments when your openness was met with a lack of appreciation. Perhaps you gave your time or resources, only to have them taken without acknowledgement. These experiences are not rare, and they often highlight a universal truth. Without clear limits, even the best intentions can be misunderstood. It is not that your kindness is inherently flawed, but that its value diminishes when it is taken as a given. By establishing clear boundaries, you ensure that every act of kindness is recognized as a deliberate and valuable contribution rather than an expected norm. As you continue on this path, consider the importance of self-assertion. It is a skill that empowers you to navigate relationships more effectively. When you articulate your limits with confidence, you not only protect yourself, but also teach others to respect your needs. This transformation is not about becoming less compassionate. Rather, it is about integrating your inner strength with your natural empathy. True kindness blossoms when it is anchored in self-respect. Take a moment to think about how this balance might change your interactions. Imagine being the kind person who also knows when to stand firm, a person who is both compassionate and resilient. The journey towards this balance begins with recognizing that you are more than just a vessel of kindness. You are a complete individual with your own needs and boundaries. This understanding is the first step in ensuring that your generosity remains a gift to both yourself and others. In the end, embracing boundaries does not diminish your kindness. It enhances it. You deserve to feel valued, and the world will respond better when you show that your goodwill is accompanied by self-care. So, as you reflect on these words, ask yourself, how can you start to set limits that honor both your generosity and your personal well-being? The answer lies in the delicate dance between giving and protecting yourself, a dance that, when mastered, transforms boundless kindness into a sustainable strength. Have you ever noticed that sometimes your kind actions seem to trigger a defensive response in others? It's almost as if your genuine gestures of goodwill shine a light on something they'd rather keep hidden. In this part, we explore how your kindness can expose the hidden insecurities and unresolved issues in others, sparking a reaction of resistance and even contempt. Consider this: when you offer your support without expecting anything in return, it might reflect back to those around you as a challenge to their own way of living. Your kindness can serve as a mirror, revealing aspects of themselves they have long tried to ignore. Have you ever wondered why some people react with suspicion or disdain when you extend a helping hand? The answer may lie in the psychology of self-protection. Imagine a person who has built a life on caution, where every gesture is carefully calculated. For them, an act of selfless kindness can feel like an intrusion, a reminder that there is another way to live, one that doesn't revolve solely around self-interest and defense. This can lead to an internal conflict. Instead of embracing the possibility of a more open and generous existence, they may reject your offer as a threat to their carefully maintained barriers. Their reaction isn't really about you, it's about their own struggle to confront the vulnerability hidden behind years of guarded behavior. Have you ever felt that your kindness was met with a cold shoulder, as if your warmth was something to be feared rather than appreciated? In these moments, what you experience is not a rejection of your character, but rather a projection of their inner turmoil. They may subconsciously perceive your genuine care as an indictment of their own guardedness, a silent critique of the walls they have built to protect themselves. This psychological resistance can manifest in various ways: sarcasm, indifference, or even overt hostility. Think back to times when your kind nature might have unintentionally made someone feel exposed. Perhaps they were not ready to see that kindness does not come with strings attached, or that a generous heart can coexist with healthy self-respect. It's important to remember that their reaction is a reflection of their internal struggles, not a measure of your value. Your authenticity may challenge them to reassess their own behaviors and beliefs, something they might not be prepared for. Imagine how it would feel if every time you acted with compassion, you could also spark a small awakening in someone who has long been trapped by their insecurities. It's a powerful thought, isn't it? But the reality is more complicated. For many, the comfort of a predictable, if not entirely positive routine can be more appealing than the uncertainty that comes with embracing kindness. When you extend your hand without hesitation, it forces them to confront the possibility that life can be less transactional and more connected. And for some, this realization is too unsettling to accept. There's a paradox in this dynamic. While your kindness has the potential to inspire and transform, it also exposes the gaps in others' defenses. This resistance is not a direct attack on you. It is an unconscious effort to protect a self-image that has been carefully constructed over time. By projecting their discomfort onto you, they avoid having to face the parts of themselves that feel vulnerable. In a way, your presence becomes a catalyst for change, a spark that could ignite a deeper exploration of their inner world, if only they were ready to embrace it. Consider the impact of this on your own journey. Every act of kindness you extend is a declaration of who you are, a person unafraid to show compassion and openness. Yet in a world where many are quick to hide behind masks of indifference, your actions can feel like a double-edged sword. On one hand, you offer a glimpse of a more authentic, caring way of living. On the other, you inadvertently force others to confront their own fears of vulnerability and change. It's a challenging balance to maintain, and one that requires constant self-reflection. At times, you might feel disheartened when your genuine efforts are met with resistance. You may even begin to question if kindness is worth the emotional toll it sometimes takes. But consider this: the discomfort you see in others is not a failure on your part. It is a sign that your actions are powerful enough to disrupt the status quo. Your kindness challenges long-held beliefs and behaviors, opening a door to transformation that few dare to walk through. So, what does this mean for you? It means that your journey towards a more generous life is also a journey towards deeper understanding and self-acceptance. It invites you to look inward and recognize that every reaction you encounter is an opportunity for growth, both for you and for those around you. Your ability to stay true to your compassionate nature, even when faced with resistance, is a testament to your inner strength. Let this be a moment of reflection. How can you continue to be a source of light in a world that sometimes prefers to dwell in the shadows? Perhaps it starts with acknowledging that your kindness is not just an act. It is a profound statement about who you are. And while it may unsettle those who are not yet ready to embrace a more open-hearted way of life, it also plants seeds of change that might one day blossom into something beautiful. In this silent battle between vulnerability and self-protection, your consistent kindness stands as a powerful force for transformation. It reminds us that true compassion requires not only generosity towards others, but also the courage to confront and heal our own inner wounds. Each time you choose to extend your hand, you help pave the way for a world where empathy and understanding can eventually triumph over fear and resistance. Stay with these thoughts as you continue on your journey. Let your kindness be the spark that encourages others to look beyond their defenses, even if they are not ready to step through the door just yet. Remember, every gesture of compassion is a step towards a more connected and understanding world, and the journey itself is as significant as the destination. Have you ever felt a deep exhaustion after giving too much of yourself? In this final part of our journey, we explore the delicate, often hidden conflict between kindness and self-care, a battle that unfolds quietly within each of us. It's a conflict that challenges you to find balance in a world where endless giving may slowly erode your own sense of value. Imagine for a moment that every time you offer help or support, a piece of your own energy is lent away, never to return. This constant flow of generosity can create an invisible debt where your needs fade into the background. Over time, what once felt like a simple act of compassion can transform into a burden, a weight that makes you feel drained and at times invisible. Have you noticed that when you are always available, others might start to expect your support as if it were a free resource rather than a valuable part of who you are? There is an old saying, "You cannot pour from an empty cup." This adage carries a powerful truth about self-care. In your quest to be kind, you may inadvertently neglect the very care you need to nurture your own well-being. True kindness does not mean sacrificing your health or happiness. It means offering your generosity while ensuring that you have enough strength to sustain yourself. The journey towards self-care is about recognizing that your own needs are just as important as the needs of those around you. Consider the role of self-respect in this battle. Every time you set a boundary or choose to say no, you affirm that your energy and time are valuable. When you honor your own limits, you send a clear message to both yourself and others. Your kindness is a gift, not an obligation. It's a powerful act of self-empowerment that transforms the way you interact with the world. The challenge, however, is to balance this self-assertion with the very compassion that drives you to help. How can you remain open-hearted without feeling exploited or depleted? Reflect on the moments when you found yourself saying yes, even when you wanted to say no. Perhaps you felt an unspoken pressure to maintain your image as the ever-supportive friend, colleague, or family member. Over time, this pattern can lead to a silent erosion of your inner strength. The more you give, the more you may feel that your own needs are unimportant. This dynamic can create a vicious cycle where your generosity becomes a default and your personal boundaries blur until they nearly vanish. Now, imagine a different scenario. Picture yourself as someone who practices kindness with full awareness of your own limits, someone who recognizes that self-care is not a selfish act, but a necessary component of living a fulfilling life. In this vision, your kindness is enriched by the energy you conserve for yourself, creating a harmonious balance between giving and receiving. The journey toward this balance starts with a simple yet powerful realization that you deserve the same care and attention you so freely offer to others. Let's delve into how you can achieve this balance. Start by recognizing that setting boundaries is not about building walls to keep others out. It's about creating a safe space where you can recharge. When you communicate your needs clearly, you allow others to understand that while you are willing to help, you are not an endless resource. It's a subtle but transformative shift in how you relate to the world. In doing so, you not only preserve your own well-being, but also enhance the quality of the help you give. Have you ever wondered if the constant act of giving might actually diminish the value of your kindness? When your generosity is perceived as a given, its worth can become obscured. By intentionally caring for yourself, you remind everyone, including yourself, that your kindness is precious. It is not an unlimited well, it is a thoughtful, deliberate act that carries meaning and purpose. This mindset can help prevent the common pitfall of feeling taken for granted, allowing you to nurture both your spirit and your relationships. In the midst of this internal battle, it's essential to listen to your inner voice. That voice, often drowned out by external demands, holds the key to understanding your own worth. When you take the time to reflect and care for yourself, you create a foundation from which your kindness can truly flourish. Self-care is not about withdrawing from the world. It's about engaging with it from a place of strength and clarity. It's the recognition that you cannot be a source of light for others if your own light is dimmed by neglect. As you consider these ideas, ask yourself, how can you honor both your natural generosity and your essential need for self-preservation? Perhaps it begins with small steps, a moment of pause before you agree to another favor, or a quiet acknowledgement of your own desires and limits. Every act of self-care is a reaffirmation of your value, a declaration that your well-being matters. Just as much as the happiness of those you help, there is also a subtle beauty in embracing this duality. Your capacity to care for others, balanced with the wisdom to care for yourself, is a rare and profound strength. It's a testament to the complexity of your character, a harmonious blend of empathy and self-respect. In this light, the silent battle between kindness and self-care is not a conflict at all, but rather an invitation to become a more complete, resilient version of yourself. As we come to the end of this journey, remember that the struggle to maintain balance is an ongoing process. There will be days when you feel overwhelmed by the demands of others, and moments when your own needs take a back seat. But each time you choose to prioritize self-care, you contribute to a larger narrative of growth and authenticity. Your kindness remains a powerful force, one that can inspire and uplift when it is grounded in the firm understanding of your own worth. So, as you step forward into the world, carry with you the insight that true kindness blossoms when it is nurtured by self-love. Let your generosity be measured, intentional, and always balanced with the care you give to yourself. Embrace the dual nature of your spirit, and know that every act of self-care is a celebration of the remarkable person you are.